everybody. It's been long. Today I am going to not teach you how to make chapati, but show you how or the tricks I use when I'm making chapatis, especially because I make a lot at a go. So I've already prepared some of them here, ready to be fried, but I'll show you the process I get to here and up to the end. So I need very few ingredients for this. It's not complicated, it just needs some love. If you don't make love to your flour, you ain't gonna have good chapatis. So first I start by taking some flour. I normally never measure, but I know that 2 kilos of chapati 2 kilos of the wheat flour can give you around between 25 to 30 chapatis. So right now I have like around 28 chapatis there ready, but I'm going to show you just by making like a few 5 or 6 more. So I take some flour. I don't measure, I just make chapatis. Don't ask me for measurements here, but if 2 kilos make like 30, then 1 kilo is about 15. Okay. Half kilo is about 7.5, but who's gonna eat the half? So anyway, take some meal. I'm mixing with Norwegian flour, wheat flour, and then I take some salt just to taste. I don't put sugar. Some people put sugar, but I think it's meaningless because I'm gonna eat with a very good sauce. Why should I put sugar? Why should I add sugar there to add diabetes to my life? No, I just add a little salt to taste. Then I take water. Now here is the tricky part. Some people use cold water, some people use hot water, some people use warm water. Depending on the temperature of this country, which is very cold, I use warm water. When I am in very hot areas like Mombasa in Kenya and all that, I use cold water because when I put my flour to rest, it's gonna warm up a little bit. So remember, I have flour, salt, and water to start with. Then I just knead it with my bare hands, no gloves, no nothing. I need to feel the texture very well. And I've washed my hands, so make sure you wash your hands for more than 20 seconds because of the coronavirus, and also generally when we handle food, we know we should wash our hands. You have to feel it. If it sticks too much to your hand, you add a little bit of flour and you keep kneading. Or I don't know, I don't need to knead it so much, because when I have a consistency that I feel like gummy that I can work with, what I do, I add the final ingredient, which is the oil. Now here, you just add a little bit according to the size of your flour. Then you keep kneading it. When you put the oil, you will notice that it's easier to get off from your hands. So I knead it for about a minute, not so long, but also this is a little bit of dough. If it was big, I would probably need longer time. So here, common sense, which unfortunately is not common to many of us, common sense is severely needed. Now, I don't know if you can see, it's not, yeah, it's gummy, but a good gummy. When I'm satisfied with how that looks, what I do is I let it rest. Notice that I use this metallic stainless steel pans because I don't use plastic. The reason is I have been experimenting for a long time with chapatis, and I noticed when I let them rest covered with this stainless steel, they tend to get softer than when I rest them in a plastic container. I don't know why. I think the stainless steel does not allow moisture to get off. The chapatis become softer, and I don't know if this is true or it's my own imagination, but it works for me. So I advise all the people who ask me to do the same, and you can notice that it's already getting softer. So what I do, I think I'm going to turn the camera on my board so that you can see the next step, because it's vital. Okay, I take some flour on the board. This is how I let it rest. You can let it rest over here. So I take my flour, my dough, and then I cover it like that. Then I go about my business, like for example, making the stew, chopping the onions and all that, because I have to give it time. I have to give it time to work. And this is the point where I say you make love to the flour. You make love to the dough. This is now me making love to it, giving it time to enjoy itself. It's enjoying itself. Meanwhile what? We take a break while we wait. So let's say it has rested for 10 minutes. I've shortened it a little bit because again, I ain't got time for this. But anyway, it has rested for some minutes. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, no problem. Sometimes a bit longer if it's a lot. But this one was a little one. I don't need to shape it so well because I'm not there yet. This is the step where actually my big brother showed me, because he was working with a lot of big restaurants and they needed a lot of chapatis at a go. So this is what I call a shortcut, where you flatten the dough in any shape you want. If you want an petticoat, if you want a skirt, a trouser, anyhow it looks at this point. There is a point that will come that we need them to be round and nice and round, but now we just flatten them like this, the entire dough into like a half a centimeter or a centimeter, depending on how layered you want your chapatis to be. Okay, so when I've done that, I take oil. You'll notice I use liquid oil, but there is also some cooking fats that are specifically made for chapatis in Kenya, but here, because I'm not in Kenya and they're not available, I use what I have, and this is just normal cooking oil, which I apply on it, try evenly. Sometimes I use my hand like this because I work in the ones I make are very big and a lot, so I use my fingers. Then because I don't want to ruin my board, I don't use a knife to cut this. I use this plastic spoon that will not make marks. Then I just make stripes like that. As you can see, it doesn't look so good now, but I assure you it will when I'm done. So I make the stripes, then I start rolling these stripes like this to make nice and round like this. I don't know what you call them, but it's like scones, but they're not scones. You just roll. This is how you roll the chapatis. But remember, this is a shortcut. We have a longer way, which I don't know if I'll ever show you, but it's an old-fashioned way which people in Mombasa use. It's still very good, but this one works, this one works. So this is how they're supposed to look like. I don't know if you can see that. As you can see, I made already a lot of them, so you see how they're supposed to look. I'm at that point right now. So I'm gonna roll them. See how many I get there. That was one. This is two. Again, I'm not teaching you how to make them. I'm showing you how I do it. If you agree with me or don't, I don't know. But this is how I do it, and it works, and people like it. Three, I try to make them even. I don't measure them, but I use my eyes to see if they're about the same size. Four. Five. I believe I even got 6 of them. This one is the 0.5 I was talking about. This is the 0.5. It's a tiny one. So, and you can see I cover them with a plastic. You can use a wet cloth. I don't like it so much, but I use this plastic bag, the kitchen one, that I just open up and cover them so that the moisture does not escape, and they keep on getting softer and softer and softer. So here I have the ones I've made now. These ones I'll fry the last. So right now I'm gonna start frying them, and I'm gonna start from the ones in the bottom. They are too soft. They're very soft. As you can see, they have become so soft that you almost not get a perfect circle, but I'm gonna try. And then I'm gonna show you where I fry them. Let me have some flour here. This is the point where my father used to tell us, make sure the chapatis are round. Make sure the chapatis are round. I don't want to eat underwear shaped chapatis, or I don't know, your skirts or trouser shaped chapatis. They have to be round, like my brother's head. So I start rolling them. Meanwhile, my pan is hot there. And I have this that I got from Kenya because it does not roll like the one we have here. This one works for me very well. I better do this so well so that my father doesn't get disappointed. Don't put too much flour on it, because it's gonna burn on the pan and they're not gonna look so nice. I don't know if it's a perfect circle, not so perfect, but it's a circle. Potato, you can see the circle. That's a circle. I'm gonna move the oil near the pan. This is the pan I'm using. Let me bring it. Let me bring the camera closer so that you can see the pan I'm using. Tricky sana. I have a problem with the camera. But this is what I'm using. Here in Norway, it is used by women who make this potato, I don't know what you call them, like flatbread, potato bread and all that. But I discovered my mother-in-law bought it for me because I told her I need something that will make me make chapatis faster. So up here, I can actually make around 4 or 5 chapatis at the same time. So I don't know if I can bring the camera closer or let me try. Oh, that's as far as I can go. So you can see it. I've turned it on. It's getting warm. I can put one chapati here, another one here, there. Oh, and I can also build on top of them. So normally when I'm alone, I don't do that, but I can actually build on top of them. So I'm gonna fry a few chapatis to show you how I do it, and then you can try and let me know. And if you like the video, subscribe, like. Okay, let's get this. Okay, so I do this. I take them like this. Some people take them like this, put them here, and then you place them on the pan, regulate the heat, and while that one's cooking, you start with the second one. you continue rolling, so you're working in 2 places at the same time. Time I work and I concentrate, I've noticed my tongue goes out of my mouth, like that's my concentration face. Anyway, when one side has started becoming brown a little bit, oh, it's the first one, so it's a bit slower than the others. Tricky because I only have one camera and I have to work with it. So until you guys start paying and I get rich, you gotta just live with the way I'm making stuff. There's the second one. I put it there and I turn this one. It's very hot, but I have Kenyan hands. So when you've turned it once, you take a little bit of oil on top of it and just spread it all over it. Spread the oil. And immediately you are done spreading oil on that side, you have to turn it again. And make sure you're watching the other one. I have to turn the ventilator on. It's almost ready, guys. I turned the other one, but you know, I haven't been working here because I have to show you. But normally when I'm alone, I'm on both sides, sweating like a what? I'm sorry, I have to work very fast, but let's see if I can bring the camera closer again without burning. You see, it's looking good on both sides. It's soft, just the way I want. And don't try to...
Sorry, I didn't understand.
That's Google talking to me. Don't try to touch it with your fingers. I'm doing it because I've done this before. My fingers are dead, literally. But this chapati looks so good. It doesn't have to stay so long on the heat because it will get dry. All the moisture will evaporate and the chapatis will be hard. And even if you keep them, when you warm them again, they won't be so good because they were too long on the heat. So make sure it's not burned, but it looks good on both sides and very, very soft. I'll show you later when I cut it. You can see there's a lot of smoke. That's why I have the ventilator on, but I have to keep moving fast if I'm gonna make it. Meanwhile, looking at that chapati. It's not easy showing you this because I have to focus on what I'm telling you and at the same time focus on not burning the food, but we try. Next time I'll show you how to make the stew which I use with the chapati, what I eat it with. Okay, you can see that's round. I go to the next. That's how I move. That's how I normally move, very fast and very focused. I forgot to show you my focus tongue again. Very focused. Like that. The oil. Remember, the heat gets so much, you have to regulate it. And go back there. In no time I'll be done with these chapatis. As soon as I turn off the camera and work like that, move to the next. That's just how I move. As you can see, it's a lot of work if you're not used to it and you are not used to coordinate. But some of us were born with, we came out with this from our mother's wombs. I don't know how many chapatis I've made, but I think I'm almost nearing 1 million. These ones are for a client. That. You see, I have 2 there. I'm gonna add a 3rd one, and I still have space for 1 more, I think. But this one's done. So you can see I already have 3 beautiful chapatis here, and I keep moving. So anyway, I'm gonna turn that off. I'll continue later, but I'm showing you this is how I make very nice and soft chapatis. You see, they just taste very good with all sorts of sauces. I even take it with tea. The way we grew up, we could take them with tea. So thanks for watching. I hope you like the video. I don't know, I'm not a professional at video makings, but I think I've given you some valuable information. Maybe also, I know I had said bye-bye for a few minutes ago, but I just remembered one thing. When you live in a country like Norway, where there are no people making chapatis for you all the time, there are no kiosks where you can just go and buy chapatis, fresh chapatis all the time, what do? We normally freeze them. We freeze them, and the good things about chapatis, when they are frozen, you can take out one, put it in a plate and wait for about 10-15 minutes, then it's back to its status. So you can freeze them and eat them at your convenience. So don't fear, even if I make 100 chapatis now, I can freeze them. The only thing I would like to say, you have to mind where you freeze, because if you freeze near foods that have a lot of smell, aroma and all that, they will tend to suck that aroma, and the chapatis won't be so appealing to eat. So what I normally do, I freeze them by themselves at their own compartment in the freezer, where they will not be affected by any other food, and the chapatis will live longer. Okay, so you can freeze. You can even freeze madavis, the bothers, the firifiri. Enjoy.